the topic of bibliometric analysis. Today, my focusing on this is an area is meant by the bibliometric analysis, and just give this the orientation or input about what is called bibliometric, right? So the second one, I'm focusing on the difference between systematic literature review, meta-analysis, and bibliometric analysis. Because when you think about bibliometric analysis, the people confuse it with these other terms. Therefore, I'm just giving a small overview about the difference among the three. And later, this is a demonstration part, database search strategies, especially I'm going to focusing on Scopus, that's for the institution-based account. And those who not have the institution-based account, I'm just giving the other tools, other databases like lens.org, Dimension, or in the case of PubMed. So these are the tools I'm just going to explain how to search. And later, I'm just moving to the Prisma flowchart and how to prepare a Prisma flowchart. What is the Prisma statement that I'm just going to brief, and most of people is already familiar. And then the downloading installation. Hope all are downloaded and installed the software of Biblioshiny. And today I'm just focusing one more thing: how to import the metadata into the Biblioshiny. So this is my agenda of the presentations. The agenda and directly moving to what is called bibliometric analysis. This is an introduction. I'm just going to give you a brief introduction for 15 to 20 minutes. And after this, I'm directly moving to the demonstration part. So what is bibliometric? So there is an answer is here. The bibliometric is a combination of two word, right? Biblio plus metric, right? So what's biblio? That's the reason we are always using bibliography, right? So when you're talking about references, suppose in the thesis and we're using called bibliography. Bibliography basically is mean called books and documents. And metric is mean by, it's a Latin word and Greek word. It is mean called measurement, okay? So when you look onto the academic literature, when you do any kind of research or any kind of study related to the academic literature, or you are doing any kind of analysis with respect to the academic literature, that thing may be called as a bibliometric analysis. So just I'm showing this with definition. Even some people have the confusion that whether the bibliometric analysis we may call as a research method. Of course, it may be research method. For example, in this case of social science research, we may call survey, experimental method, non-experimental design, case study. These are the research method we are using. And parallelly, in the case of library informatics science, or in the case of medical science, or in the case of media, they're using a wonderful research method. It's called bibliometric analysis, right? It's a research method, and that is used for quantitative techniques. So even it may part quantity and quality. When it comes about the science mapping, it is come at the some of the qualitative aspect also. So nowadays, after the R software come and Biblioshiny comes, now the bibliometric analysis, part and parcel of quantitative as well as the qualitative, especially when you go the network diagram, or in the case of co-occurrence or co-citation, the network diagram is purely related to the qualitative, and partially is in quantity also. So previously, the definitions related to the bibliometric analysis, the research method that use the quantitative techniques to analyze the academic literature. Please, as already mentioned, this academic literature is nothing but the journal article, even the books, the conference paper, especially these are these sources, right? So we maybe use this as the articles, books, and conference paper. And through this, we are going to do the analysis of citation-based, author-based, and keyword-based analysis to understand, especially what is the purpose to the bibliometric analysis. The answers here to understand the trends. The first one is to understand the trends. What is the research trends going on, and what is that influence? So influence, it's nothing but who is the influential author, who is the influence paper, who is the influence the affiliations, which is in countries dominating this kind of research area. For everything, we can find out through this kind of bibliometric analysis. And the third one is the relationship within the field. For example, if you want to check this, the country with author-wise, the connections, or how the co-citation or bibliographic coupling, these are things we can able to find the relationships. So within the research field. So for you are taking one research area, that research field, we can able to do this. Hope you are able to find this, that meaning of the bibliometric analysis. Are you able to follow me? If you are able to follow me, you can just type F in the chat box. So bibliometric analysis is a research method, especially it's quantitative research method, and especially is going to analyze the academic literature work, right? And basically, this is a method used by the information science, especially the library science, management field, medicines, engineering. Nowadays, the social science, even the science subject also now that increasing more. So after the RStudio Biblioshiny comes, a lot of articles comes out as a productive work in the case of Bibliometric. And one more definition about the bibliometric. So bibliometric analysis once again is a quantitative research method. So basically, I use the word academic literature, but here I'm using the word called metadata. So don't confuse with meta-analysis. It is called metadata. Meta-analysis is another kind of systematic literature review work. So here we are going to do the analysis of metadata. The metadata is nothing but academic literatures, right? And the metadata of academic publications. So what is called metadata in the case of academic publications? We have the answers in this slide. Now you can see this is one publications. This is an article, the bibliometric analysis, the main steps, right? This is the topic of the article, the title of the article. And the second one is an encyclopedia. It is the journal name. And these are the publishers. This is an author, pauses, an author. And these are the DOI number and the received date and revised date. And you can see this the reference of the article. And this is the affiliation of the author. This is an abstract, the keyword. So these are the things is called as a metadata. Hope you're able to follow me. The metadata, it is nothing but the article, the information related to the author name, the title of the work, and the affiliations, the abstract, the keyword, the references. This is basically come to the metadata. If you want to highlight and just give this all the metadata, which is available for every article. See, whenever you publish any work, thesis, even in the case of article or in the case of things like conference paper, these are the metadata are available. Title of the article, author name, affiliation, keywords, abstract, publications, years, journal name, references, DOI number, country they belongs to. So these are the metadata. Based on the metadata, we started to do the analysis. Are you able to follow me? So therefore, metadata, that's the reason if you go to the Zotero or Mendeley, you can find out this kind of thing. Share your file in the meeting. So Ruby, we already shared this file related to conference, sorry, this workshop, 3 days workshop, all the material I already shared. Okay. So similar to the review cards, we can do early. Yeah, of course, correct. You are perfect. You are correct, right? So therefore, that meta-analysis, metadata in this case, every articles, we have some metadata. I'm just showing this, some of the, so I'm just going to some of the file. If possible, go to the folder which I shared through the Google Drive. So there is a number 4, that fourth number, reference article, bibliometric, and I'm just taking some of the article. Now you can see this. Here, this is an article. The article title is also one kind of title itself here, metadata. And the author names here, it's not 1 or 2 authors, it's nearly 5 authors. And their affiliations, it is an abstract, the journal name, and the publishers. Along with this, if you scroll down, you can find the references. So these references, and you can find out the keywords. So these are the metadata. Every article, we have a metadata. So we are going to do the analysis with the metadata. Normally, when you go with, in the case of survey method, we can go for a data collections as a primary data and secondary data, and we can do the analysis. We need to go for a data collection. But here, the data collections, we are doing directly with this kind of database, like a Scopus or Web of Science or Lens, any kind of database we can go with this. And the data collections are very simple, because the social sciences, we need to go and we need to spend more than 2 months, 3 months to do the data collection. But here, if you have the Scopus institution account, within half an hour, you can get a wonderful data, metadata, and based on this, we can start to do the analysis, right? So for every article, this kind of metadata. So once again, I'm just going to give this, the definition of bibliometric analysis. It's a quantitative research method that analysis of metadata. The term is very important, the metadata of academic publication to measure the research performance. Basically, is helping to understand the research performance, research trends, the relation between all the metadata and knowledge structures within a specific field. The specific field is nothing but we are going to go with a search. No, so for example, I want to do the search with the use of the flipped classroom, or in the case of artificial intelligence in education. This is the area how the research is going on. What is the research trends in the current context? Suppose I want to do the research A in higher educations. So how the A in higher educations, the research trends going on. So for that, we can do this kind of system, this kind of bibliometric work. And hope you are getting this meaning of bibliometric data, bibliometric analysis. And one more thing, and in the case of library science, they highlight this kind of points. So the people have the confusion what's called bibliometric, because here I just give this different names: informatics, bibliometrics, scientometrics, cybernetics, as well as bibliometrics. In the case of bibliometrics, is a superset with respect to the scientometrics, cybermetrics, and webometrics. But in the case of all the things come under the umbrella term called informatics, I'm already given this that small explanation. I will share the slide also later. And this is a source I just find it from there. And this is a relationship among the many subfields of library and information science field. Especially the bibliometric, as already mentioned, this is a quantity study related to the books, articles, and other scholarly publication. But in the case of webometrics, it's purely related to the websites, web links, because webometrics is purely related to the web-based informations. That's called website, web links, and online. But cybernetics related to quantity aspects of internet-based and digital communication as well the online. So look like similar, right? But all the three things, I mean, all the two things come under the bibliometrics. But now the bibliometrics and scientific, even that some of the topic they use the word scientometrics, a little bit outer layer compared to the bibliometrics here. So scientometrics is like a scientific research and research performed, especially the scientometrics we can do through with the use of the Biblioshiny software, right? So previously there is a limitation when do the scientometric, but with the use of the Biblioshiny software, we can do the scientometrics analysis. Scientometric means the scientific research and research performance we can able to find, especially for resistant and other things, we can able to locate this. So this is a basic introductions about bibliometric. And actually moving to the difference among the bibliometric analysis and systematic literature as well as meta-analysis, right? So later I'm moving to the demonstration. So first we must be familiar with the theoretical sides, right? So what is the difference among the bibliometric and systematic? So more or less the work of the nature. I mean, I'm talking about the phase one up to the identifying the literature review. I mean, after what is that? Identifying this review. It is all the three processes somewhat similar only, but there is a small as well the main difference also there. In the case of bibliometric analysis, especially is helping to the main purpose to identifying the publication pattern. And for example, when you do the research in higher educations, I can know that what is the patterns up to now is going on, who are the authors contributing more on this area, and what is the citation, who is a prominent author, who is a prominent affiliations, which university published more, which countries published more, and what is the collaboration between these metadata, and what is the resistance with respect to the A in higher education, that we can able to find from the bibliometric analysis. So as already mentioned, to identify the trends, to identify the famous author, top journal, keyword, collaboration, these are things we can find. These are software normally we are using to do the bibliometric analysis, was viewer as well as the bibliometric. People have the confusion, the bibliometric and biblioshiny, both the same only. So we can bibliometric of biblioshiny. So we can call as bibliometric or biblioshiny software. And example, in the case of, I'm talking about, in the case of research questions, we can keep the research question like this. Which countries publish most research A? Because we are going to find out which country contribute more. So in this case, we are going to make this kind of research question like this. And who is the famous author, who is the prominent author with respect to the A in higher education? And what is the resistant, what is the keyword they use by the researcher or the author? This is a way we can make these research questions. And systematic literature review, somewhat deep into this. Here we are going to collect the literature review very systematically. The term is very systematic. To collect, very systematic, to evaluate and synthesis. There is a term is synthesis. Okay. First we need to collect, we need to evaluate whether this article is more relevant to your research questions. Then you can keep this further and you can go with the research. For example, the same like A in higher education. So when you go with the A in higher education, in the case of systematic literature review, I'm going to find which are the factors might influence in the A in higher educations, and what are the previous studies it's contributing with respect to the A in higher educations. These are things I just look on to with the systematic literature review. And we have some tools using for the literature review, Ryan and Covidence. And basically is helping to existing the evidence in the organized way and studies to evidence from the research paper in a structured way. So therefore we need to go with a very structured way of what is that? Identifying this literature review. That's the reason we are following the Prisma. Actually, the Prisma, it is meant for the systematic literature review as well as the meta-analysis. It's not metadata I'm talking here, meta-analysis I'm talking here. And here, these are the questions, research question we need to keep like this. What do previous studies says about online learning and that effectiveness, right? And what is the evidence exists in education? What is that factors influence the AI in higher education? And so like this, we are going with very specific research question. Based on research question, you need to collect that data. Here, the data represents is nothing the literature review, the existing work, and evaluate and synthesis. The last one is a meta-analysis. And mainly this meta-analysis, it is analysis of analysis, especially I want to know this effectiveness of AI-powered education in the academic performance. I need to identify which are the work already done with respect to AI in education, in with respect to the academic performance. I need to collect, I need to do the analysis within the effect size calculation. So because there's a 10 or 15 article I found out from the this impact like AI in higher education with respect to the academic performance. Therefore, I need to identify this article and I'm going to do the analysis of the all the 10 or 15 articles or the work with respect to the effect size calculation. Basically, it's a quantitative meta-analysis. And we have the tools called Raven and Stata and R, and especially now the software like Java with Jazz, this are software also we can do a meta-analysis. And here the research questions like this. Overall, does the online learning improve the student performance? As already mentioned this, I'm talking about AI, but in this case, online learning, how improve the student performance. So I'm going to collect the different works already done this area and do the analysis within the research. This is like a result of analysis. There is already the multiple studies research related to online learning on student performance that I'm just going to compile. And based on the result output, I'm doing the further analysis. So this is called meta-analysis. I just compile all the three things in a single table. Very important things I'm just going to highlight here. One is the primary objectives, especially for, but this particular program is only focusing on the bibliometric analysis, resistance and citations, authors network. These are things we can do with the bibliometric. So, systematic, as already know this, collect and synthesize the existing evidence. Meta-analysis statistically combine the results of multiple studies. So it's like the studies of studies called meta-analysis. And I'm just giving this is a nature of method. Basically, we are using the descriptive and exploratory with in the case of bibliometric. It is qualitative and mostly is in systematic literature qualitative, but in the meta-analysis pure is in quantitative. So these are the basic difference you must be familiar. And what is the data for us in the case of bibliometric? The metadata of all the article, it is our data here. And for the systematic review, we need to go explore all the article, the entire text we need to read. But in the case of bibliometric analysis, there is no need to read the entire article. Only we know that metadata of the article. But in the case of systematic review, we must be familiar with what is the full text of the article. Based on this only we can compile all the things and all. And in the case of meta-analysis, we must be familiar with this effect size calculations and what is the effect size of the article. And based on this, we can do the further analysis. This is a difference among the SLR, meta and bibliometric analysis. So hope all are with me. Are you able to follow me? Are you able to follow me?
Yes,
so
sir.
I'm going to the second space. The first one I'm talking about what is the bibliometric. The second I'm focused on the difference among the three, right? I'm sharing the slide also later. And this is in steps of performing bibliometric analysis, right? And what is a step? So there is in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 steps is there. And this 7 step, there is one article is suggesting a very wonderful way, this 7 steps. I request all to refer this article. If you go with my folder, which I shared to you, there is an about a bibliometric analysis. When you click this, the particular folder, we are getting this article, how to design a bibliometric research by Osdruck et al. Okay, it might be your third now. I think so, the third article. If possible, kindly open this article parallelly and you can explore what the way they explain the different steps here. Even I just compiled my PowerPoint based on this only. Okay, so this is an article. So I'm just showing this. How to design a bibliometric research, the overview framework proposal. It's a very wonderful article. It is published in 2000, received 2023 and published 2024, right? So just to scroll up, you are getting this all the the details. So there is a main stage of bibliometric research. They given here, these are the steps. There is in 4 steps. I'm just explaining the basic 4 steps. The first, when you plan for a bibliometric analysis, the step number one, you need to think to go with the defining aims of your research. So for every article, when you prepare, go with the literature. I mean, the aim of the research is nothing but the research questions, or we may visit the what is the scope of the research, right? So what is the aim of the research? What are the expert results from the research? These are things we need to keep, and especially what is the scope and focus of the research? We need to think about what kind of analysis you want. Kuldeep Kar, please kindly mute your ear. Okay. And so these are the aims we need to fix before started your bibliometric work. So the first we can fix the aim of the research. What is the scope? What is the database we are going to use? What are the analysis you are going to do this? What is the title of your work? I mean, that key terms which you are going to search in the database. Everything we need to fix it. The stage 1. The stage 2, collect the data on the relevant research. This is very important. For this only, we are using the different databases. We are using the Web of Science, Scopus, even the Google Scholar, PubMed, Microsoft Academia, Dimensions, Springer, so all the databases, and some of the databases we cannot able to access because the institution account is essential. And in this case, we have the initial search process, filtering, and downloading the dataset. So the downloading dataset is very important. Once you do all kind of inclusion, exclusion criteria, then we can go for downloading the datasets, right? So this is datasets consist of all the metadata. So this is second step is very important. The step number 1, first aim of the research of your this what is called bibliometric analysis. The second one, based on the aims, kindly plan for the literature review, and the final step of the literature review is to be downloaded data set. And the step number 3, after this, you can go for analysis. For the analysis, we have the software like Viewer and Bibliometric, that is the software which you are using for Biblioshiny, and we have BibExcel and History Site. Plenty of softwares are available. And once this analysis is done, okay, the last step is going for the interpretations. The step number 4, interpretation and writing the results. So there, even in the case of Biblioshiny, we have a Biblio AIs of tools available. Even the interpretation also AI is going to provide. But one thing is, don't rely on AI. So based on the input of AI, you can start write your own way. So nowadays the Biblio AIs, the tool is helping to write an interpretation also. Even you are not familiar with what kind of interpretation you want to write for this particular scientific diagram, it gives this wonderful interpretation. So based on this, you can read and you start to write your own way. So this is the 4 steps, bibliometric stages. And if you scroll down, you can find out another very important things here. The selection of database, they highlighting how we can select the databases, what is called inclusion, exclusion criteria, everything they explain. And especially when you go for inclusion, exclusion criteria, they given this are the input. So when you decide the inclusion, exclusion criteria with respect to the second stage, as already mentioned, the literature review, we can think about the publication type. So publication years, for example, you can fix it which year to which year you are going to take that particular article key terms, right? And especially I'm always going to give this input that go at least the last 20 years. So if you more than 20 is fine, at least you can go with the 20 years is essential, especially in the case of research. So suppose if you're new area, suppose you're going to quantum computing or new area, if you're going with this, you cannot get this 20 years, the data and all. So my request is always go with at least the 20 years. If already the work is already done it a couple of years or last 15-20 years, means you can go with this at least 20. And document type, that is another inclusion criteria or exclusion criteria, you can fix it. So we have the article, review article, and proceeding paper and book chapter. Once again, it is based on your scope of your work, you can decide. But my request that better to go with the article, then only can get, because mostly some of the review article or in the case of book chapter, they're not making any research aspects. This is okay. Normally the article only the research perspectives may be there. So my request to go to the article is, once again, it is based on the scope of your work as well as based on your subject also, right? But my recommendation in the case social science researcher, especially education management, go with the article based. In the case of research field means that, for example, when you go with artificial intelligence, We can find artificial intelligence with a different subject domain. They do the research in the education, management, or in the case of computer science. For example, computer science, more number of work already done it. But according to me, I'm from the education department. I want to do the research with respect to AI in education. Therefore, I can take from the social science background or education background or some kind of psychology background is fine. Therefore, we need to identify which background of work you want to take. So we have all kind of subject specific data are available and which you want to decide. That is called inclusion exclusion criteria. You can decide it. And the language, especially you can go with this, the language of English. Okay, even in the scope of some other language is also available. So it's up to you. If you want to go with the Chinese or other case, but better to the Indian context, we can go the English. And so the indexes, normally it's available in the case of Web of Science. Okay. So when you go to the Web of Science, we need to select this Social Science Citation Index, Science Citation Index, Emerging Society Index. These are things we need to select in the case of Web of Science. And in the case of affiliation, the affiliations is nothing but the author, the institution background. Suppose you want to analyze, suppose I want to do the bibliometric analysis only for Central University of Karnataka. So I can take only the Central University of Karnataka up to now. What are the publication? I can do the analysis within the Central University of Karnataka. The article which is published in the Scopus database only I can do the analysis. So like this, if you want to go with only specifically one university or one country, so we can go with this. That's called country wise. But the affiliation also, even some people are doing the only that affiliation wise, one specific university, what kind of contribution they done it, what is the research strength that university is doing. So we can do this also. And publication the journal. So we have a this called basically called sources. Suppose you want to check with this that the Scopus, the Q1, Q2, that first Q1 journal of education, you want to explore how the research is going on the first. According to the site score, the number one, how is going on. Even go with a specific journal, only the specific journal data only you can do for further analysis. That's also possible. And once again, everything depends on your scope of your research work. And the next is a country-wise analysis. You can go with suppose you want to go with only the USC, only in the case of Asian countries or only the India, whatever the research trends happen. If you want to go with this, only country-wise also you can go with this. In the case of content, so normally the content is nothing but the scope of article. So normally when you go with the search, we can search with this. For example, A in education, I want to search. When you go to A in education, I can check the title of the article, the abstract of the article, and the key terms of the article. These are three things I can find whether they're using the A in education. So based on this, I can do the inclusion exclusion criteria. So this is a very important part to design. Even this is not only for bibliometric analysis, even this kind of inclusion exclusion criteria is very essential with respect to what is the systematic literature review, even for the meta-analysis. Are you able to follow me this one? So this is a very important things. This also discussed in this particular work. Are you able to access this particular file? Hope you are able to find the file, right? I already share it. So those who are not find it, I am sharing once again the today evening. Kindly find from the WhatsApp group. Right. So now when you scroll up, this is called bibliometric analysis. Even tomorrow I'm going to discussing about performance analysis. Later I'm going with the science mapping. So when you go think about the bibliometric analysis, we can divide the bibliometric analysis two. So one is called performance analysis. Performance analysis is basically called measurement classifications. Okay. Is source-wise analysis, author-wise analysis, the country-wise analysis. Like we can go with this. Okay. So if you don't give the university names also will be fine, sir, just for giving a country. Yeah, absolutely, you, sir. Vinod, sir. It is based on your scope of your work. It's based on your scope of your work. Suppose I am especially want to do the bibliometric analysis for the Central University of Karnataka. I want to know that what is the research trends, how that our university is contributing in the case of research. I can do this. Once again, it's a scope. My scope is to be analyze the research outcome of Central University of Karnataka. I can do this. It's once again the scope of your work which you're going to carry out this. Okay. Yes. So yes, fine. And the science mapping, this for the again, this is only we are talking about some of the graphic co-occurrence diagram or the case of bibliographic coupling or trend analysis diagrams. A lot of diagrams we are going to do on the third day. So mostly is a visualization. Even the visualizations, the voice viewer software is helping us a lot. So There is a question from Durai. Could you repeat the last point of inclusion exclusion? So as already mentioned, this is an when you go to this particular tool, particular article, the table number 2, they already given the inclusions and the exclusion criteria. We need to decide what kind of inclusion exclusion you want to fix it during your what is that system? Oh, sorry, while going for your identifying the literature work. Don't worry, I'm doing the demonstration. When you do the demonstration, you can get this idea. Okay. I'm going to do this. Okay. If suppose if the studies are not found in sufficient way, can we reduce the? Of course, once again, Atul Mayuriya, what he said is correct. Based everything depends on the researcher, right? The researcher kindly fixes the scope. What is the scope of your work, and based on you can decide this, right? So this is a wonderful article. If possible, kind of read entire step. They even all kind of analysis. What is the goal? Everything they explain here. All the stepwise. Even I explore what is the bibliometric analysis with this research article only. So just so this particular article is maybe helping you a lot to read further. Okay, to explore further. Yes. So the same thing. What I'm just highlighting here. The bibliometric research steps, and this is an inclusion exclusion criteria in my PowerPoint. This is the bibliometric analysis steps. Okay. Now I'm moving to the main things. Later we can discuss these things, right? The main one, when you think about systematic literature review, we need to think about the Prisma. So what is the Prisma? Okay, the answers here. Uh, yeah. So when you go with the Prisma, so this is an abbreviation of Prisma. Preferred reporting items. Please kind know that P for preferred, R for reporting, I for items, and S for systematic review, and M for meta-analysis, right? Normally, in the case of Prisma, nowadays, a lot of people having awareness to how to go with the Prisma. And I'm talking about the previous old researcher. They not be aware of much, but the recent researcher, all the people are going with this kind of Prisma. If you want to more about Prisma, so just Google it, Prisma statement. It's a website. I already shared this website also. These are things always you can keep it as a bookmarking. If you have the good habit for the bookmarking, you can give the bookmarking. These are the good sites. There is a website called Prisma Statement. Even I'm sharing this. When you go to the Prisma Statement, this website, you can find all kind of the checklist, even the flow diagram. Suppose when you plan for a systematic literature review or the case of meta-analysis, you need to draw a Prisma diagram. Prisma is like a guidance. Once again, the Prisma is not a type of research. It is only the guidelines. So they're given the guidelines how to do this systematic literature review. For this, they're given this kind of input. So I'm sharing this link in the chat box. Okay. Later to even some people kindly help me. Some of the link I may not be sharing the group. I request all during my presentation, whenever you find a good link, kindly share. So I share this link now. I think I share to not private. Okay, everyone I'm sharing. It's okay, fine. So thank you, Deepthi, already shared. Okay, so when you go to this one, this site, you are finding the checklist. So they already given the checklist also. So when you plan for writing a systematic review or meta-analysis, what are the checklists we need to follow? So when you click this, you can find the checklist. Even the same folder, I'm just all the material I already downloaded, I uploaded in my the folder number 1. If you go to the Prisma 2020 guidelines, everything is available. Okay. So now we can see this, all the things that 0, I'll give the number 0, 1, 2, 3. So the article also available. If you go to the Prisma, it's given all kind of clarity, The Prisma 2020 statement and updated guidelines for reporting systematic review. There's an article. It is available. I already downloaded and I uploaded the Google Drive also. It is the first folder number 1 Prisma 2020 guidelines. Under this, the number 1 Prisma 2020 statement page et al. So when you go through this, you can find out the Prisma, the guideline structure. These are the Prisma 2020, the item checklist. There is a 27 checklist. When you're writing your SLR or in the case of meta-analysis, you can follow. Even some of the things we need to follow in the case of Bibliometric also. So this is your Prisma diagram. But there is no need this much of complicated Prisma diagram with respect to the Bibliometric. So for the SLR or the meta-analysis, we can go with this kind of very precise, very specific the Prisma guideline. This is a Prisma flowchart diagram. We need to follow systematically. But in the Bibliometric, I'm suggesting some more model also. It's very simple model compared to this. And if possible, kindly read this article also. This also I can find it from the same website. If you go to the site, yeah. So there is an option called expense cycle flow diagram. When you go to the flow diagram, there is a flow diagram. The Word document is like a Prisma 220 flow diagram. New systematic reviews, which include the search and database registered only. So there is a 1, 2, 3, 4 diagrams available. They give the different kind of templates. So when you click this, you are getting the Word document only. Even sometimes if you want to do editing, you can directly do the editing. So this is a Prisma. It's a very simple format, identification studies. The Prisma, we have the 3 steps. Please kind know this: identification, screening. The screening include inclusion and exclusion criteria. After the inclusion exclusion criteria is over, then we can go to the inclusions. Finally, what number of article you are going to go for the further analysis. Please kindly note this. In the case of Prisma, basically the 3 steps: identifications. The screening consists of both inclusion exclusion criteria. That's the reason they use called exclusion criteria. And once the completion inclusion exclusion criteria, eligibility criteria, we can finally come to what is the final number of article which we need to go for the further analysis. That is called inclusions. So this is called bibliometric Prisma diagram. Here you can find out the reference also, right? So the same thing, I'm just going to explain how to prepare with the example, don't worry. So if you want to go further, if you want to download, I'm already sharing into that folder also. If you go to the Prisma flowchart, I'm downloaded all 4. It is available. So one by one, you can explore it. This is for the SLR as well as the bibliometric, SLR as well as the meta-analysis. But now I'm going to suggest one more model for the bibliometric. In the morning, I shared one file. This is a bibliometric and its template final. So whenever you plan for that's bibliometric analysis. So I am already shared the PDF file. So thank you so much, Deepti man, to share this. So this is in file in the morning and the afternoon I shared in the WhatsApp group. The flipped classroom, this in title, for example, this is my scope of work. This is my topic, which I want to do the bibliometric analysis. So I'm already given what is the inclusion exclusion criteria, what we need to fix. And this is in the table, sorry, what is this? Prisma table. Okay. I will come to the inclusions. Kindly clear the inclusion exclusion criteria as part of the screening. Of course, I'm doing this, don't worry. Okay. Now, the first demonstration, I can go with this, the database. We have a lot of database. The first demonstration, I'm going to go with here. The database is called Scopus. The later I'm moving to the other database first. But this Scopus database I'm going using with my institution account. You cannot access if you don't have a institution account. Okay. Used for bibliometric. Of course, sir, can the Prisma framework to be used? Of course, you can use it, Rajna. You can use it. Okay. I'm going to this Scopus. I'm just explaining how to go with the inclusion exclusion criteria. I'm going to explain one by one. Okay. For this, I'm going to give some resources also, how to keep it the Prisma diagram in your article also. And so when you go with the Scopus database, I mean Scopus website, with your personal mail ID, you can find only the author search only. When you click the author search, we cannot find the document search. Hope you are able to find this. So this is for those who are not having the institution account. You cannot find the document search. We can find only the author search only. But the institution account people only, they can find out this kind of search. So for this, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to sign out. I'm just log in with my institution. Those who are having the institution account, you can put yes in the chat box, the letter Y in the chat box. You can do parallelly. Others, please don't worry. I'm going to give you other demonstration with other tools. Okay, so don't worry. Okay, those are having the institution account, you can put Y. Other no. So no people. I'm going to give this another demonstration with other tools. Okay, the similar way we can go with the other tool also. So I'm just going to sign in with my institution account. So for this, I'm going to send in University of Karnataka and access through your organizations. Okay. And this is only the institution account people, you can find out the document search. So I'm just giving my username, password, credential. So after this, I can find out the document. Are you able to see the document? So previously, in the case of normal account user, we can find only the author search only. So now I get the document search, right? And one more thing, I'm just going to, because I want to change the cursor. You want to know the cursor movement. I'm just making some marking, then you can able to follow me clearly. So that is for the marker. Okay. Yeah. Yes, hope my marker movement, my movement also may be visible now. Now I'm just doing the demonstration with the particular word file. Please kind know this. This is my topic, right? The topic I want to do, this is the scope of work. I'm planning to know, to check with this, the flipped classroom and academic performance, right? So I want to compile, already the work is done from the different people already, they published the work. I want to identify. So here the topic, I'm going to go with the last 20 years of, or last 10 or 15 years of work, which is done in this area, flipped classroom and academic performance. So how many variables are available? One is flipped classroom. So second in is academic performance. So, right? I'm just keeping the two. Are you able to follow me? Kindly identify what the research work you want to do. For example, you want to go with the digital marketing in management, or digital marketing only. That's your key terms, right? So for me, the key terms, the analysis which I'm going to do, what is the resistance with respect to the flipped classroom and academic performance? This is the area I want to explore it. So therefore, based on the topic, I'm just giving the Boolean string. Please kind know this, what is called Boolean string. I'm just explaining one by one here. The Boolean string, I just divide my work into two, right? So because I have two variable according to the this particular topic. The first variable, the flipped classroom, is the own, okay? So this is my identified. The second is an academic performance. Please kind know this, right? So Evangelines don't use this, don't use any kind of annotation, please, okay? Yes, Evangeline, please kindly stop to use this. Archana Pandey, your institution have to have the subscriptions. It's not, we're not getting. So we can approach the librarian. The librarian go for a subscription. Through the subscription, we can get into this. Okay. Right. 1 minute. I'm just going to delete. Yes, fine. Okay. Now, are you please, Evangeline, kindly stop your annotations. Evangeline. I think you may unknowingly you are doing this. Kindly stop doing this. Okay. Yeah, please. Okay. All right. Cyril, please kindly take care of this. Okay. Okay.
Yes, okay now. Okay.
Okay, please. So yeah, thank you. Nothing. Because you're asking the questions called what is called uh, the Boolean string. So I will explain this because this like a search. You know that AND OR gate. During our school days, we studied for and OR gate, right? So I'm just explaining what is called and OR gate with use of my. I can give this alternative of the Scopus. There is an alternative of Scopus Institute. No, there is an alternative database. Is there? There is an alternative database. Otherwise, you can share the topic. We people can helping to give this kind of sources. The metadata to you. Okay. If you can, that's the reason nowadays the people are doing the collaborative research. If you have the collaboration research, you can just connect with some of the university, that Central University or State University, they're providing this kind of things. So you can easily access it, right? Evangeline, please. Yeah, okay. I'm just going back to the PowerPoint. Okay. Yeah. Now you can see this slide. Please kindly note this, what is called Boolean. You are getting some idea. What is called Boolean operator? These are the Boolean operator with respect to the search. It is not only for this search. For any kind of database, if you want to go with the systematic literature review, we need to go with this kind of Boolean search. One is called AND. So what is called AND? What is OR? What is called NOT? Okay. So I'm just going to give one by one. In the case of AND, okay. Sorry, just going to. Yes, okay. Now, with respect to AND, what is my AND? Suppose I want to go with this AI and education, right? So what's going to happen? So my search is going to identify wherever the AI and education used by the article from the title or the case of abstract is going to locate it. So and means the two terms, artificial intelligence and higher education. Therefore, if 1,000 article they discussing about artificial intelligence and 500 article they're talking about higher education. So what's going to happen? So it's going to check whether the 1,000 article of AI and 500 article of higher education. How many articles they connected both in the case of AA and higher education? Suppose there's only 300 articles talking about artificial intelligence along with the higher education. This is going to search with the use of the key term. This is called Boolean operator and. So what is the meaning? AA and higher education. These two words is identifying from the different articles with respect to title, abstract, as well as the key terms. Wherever they're using these two terms in a single article is going to identify. So like this, if you have the 1000 article related to artificial intelligence for me, and there's a 500 article of higher educations, out of these 1500, which is an article, it's talking both aspects, A and higher education is nearly 300, is going to identify. So this kind of search is called AND search. Are you able to follow me? So we can use in this case AND. For example, for my case, you can see this case. I want to go with this flipped classroom and academic performance. So on academic performance, therefore, can I use and or are? Here, which terms I want to go with the flipped classroom along with this academic performance, wherever they're using, I want to find it. Therefore, I can use and listen. Therefore, here my connector is what? What is my connector? What is my connector? And please kind know this, I just use the connector. Therefore, when I want to check with the flipped classroom and academic performance together, how many article it is there in the Scopus database, I can use the word and. And along with this, I want to check higher education also. Flipped classroom, academic performance with respect to higher education. Therefore, which connector might be used here? Which connector I want to use? I want to get academic performance along with higher education also. Therefore, here we can use the connector and once again. So therefore, I'm using the two connectors. Even I'm using called flipped classroom and academic performance. But my interest, I want to go with the academic performance with respect to higher education, not in the school education. So when you go with this academic, in the higher education, I use the word and. But I don't need for the primary school. I need only the higher education only, especially the university and college level. But I don't need for the primary school. So therefore, what is the Boolean here? Not. Are you able to follow me? Please, I'm just writing this. So I have the three connector I'm using here, right? So one is and, so the two and I'm using it, and one not. Why I'm using the not? Because I don't need a primary school. I don't need any kind of school level article which connected with respect to the flipped classroom academic performance, right? So therefore, even the title only talking about two aspects only, but I'm just expanding higher education. This is like a scope. I'm just going the inclusion criteria, exclusion criteria, because I want to go with the higher education, the inclusion criteria. The exclusion criteria is called primary school. Who can decide? Who can decide this? The investigator or the person those are doing this, the article, right? So here, this is my inclusion, higher education, my institutions, inclusion. What is my exclusions? Primary school and high school. Are you able to follow me? Are you able to follow me? Yes, fine, right? So now you understand this in the case of Scopus database. I'm just going to the Scopus. Yes, so this is my, okay. Now, when I go for search, no, if you click this, we are finding all. Suppose you want to go with the author, first author, source title, article title, abstract, keywords, affiliation. But my intention, I want to search, these are the key terms in the article title or abstract keywords, because the keywords also people are using the flipped classroom as well as the academic performance, or they using the abstract they're using. Sometimes they will not use the title, but they use the abstract. Are you able to find this? Sometimes the title may be visible both the flipped classroom as well as the academic performance. Sometimes only flipped classroom may be available in the title. It may not be in the case of title, but it may be highlighted in the abstract. That's the reason I'm always suggest to go with this one, article title abstract keyword. So even we have the DOI number search, reference based, conference based, article title. Don't go with the author, because author, if you're familiar, you know the author name, you can type this better. My suggestion, go with this one, author, title, abstract, and keywords. So keep this one. I'm going for a search. Up to now, any doubts? So always you are going to search the key term, because my key term, this one. What is my key term? This is my key term. So kindly look onto my flipped classroom and is a connector, because I want to check which are the article discussing about flipped classroom, academic performance, and higher education together, not in the primary schools. So this is my search. Any doubt? Any doubt? If you want to, I just give the PowerPoint one example also. Now you can see this case, the PowerPoint, and means, for example, artificial intelligence and higher education. So this much of article, there's 1,000 article related to artificial intelligence. Higher education, nearly 500 article. So out of these two is going to identify only 320 article. It's connected to the both, right? So will you article related to only with the classroom? Because the topic is flipped to classroom. I'm just going to explain. Don't worry. So yeah, laptop. Just for example, I'm just giving this. I'm just going to give the further explanation, right? So now the questions here, sir, you talking about artificial intelligence in higher education, because the artificial intelligence, some people use the key term AI only, even short form they can use it. Sometimes they're using for instead of artificial, they're using called machine learning. So therefore, these are the alternate terms. Are you able to find this? So the artificial intelligence, in some article, they're not highlighting directly artificial intelligence. Instead, they use that machine learning. So instead, they're using AI also, right? Uh, I will highlight this, Vikesh, sir. You can give this example. I will just explain this, okay? So because I start with the simple to complex, right? So because people not be familiar with even the Boolean, so that's it. I'm giving this basic example. In the case of higher education, suppose higher education, in some article they directly use the word higher education, or some article they not use the higher education, they use it called university. They may use it for the college. This is also part of the higher education. Therefore, these are the other terms which connected with this higher education. Are you able to find this? So we have some other alternate terms, artificial intelligence called machine learning and artificial intelligence short form. The similar higher education we can call university or colleges. Therefore, we need to go with this instead of the higher education, university. Instead of university, you can go the college search also. So therefore, I'm going to introduce another search. It is called R. So the term is called R. So what is called R? OR. So R means they expand research, right? For example, artificial intelligence or machine learning. So wherever the article, some article artificial intelligence, some article they're talking about machine learning, is both going to identify. So for this, the example, this diagram example you are getting here. So you can see this diagram. Yeah. So R means the artificial intelligence, wherever the machine learning, for example, generative AI, suppose that machine learning, so it's going to take both. Okay. So this is 1000. This is for 400. So it takes the 1400 together. It's taking 1400 together. Right. So this is called OR gates. Is going to take both. Right. So wherever the two key terms, the similar key terms where they're using, they can use it. Now I'm come to my here, the Boolean string. So now we understand this where you can use that. But now we can see the flipped classroom. These are the alternative terms. Some article they use the come flipped classroom. Some article they can use called inverted classroom, inverted learning, flipped learning. They use the different terminology, right? These are some alternative terms. So can you tell me whether we can use and or here? Which terms we can use it here? We can use R, right? So we can use R and just copy and paste this R here. So I'm just keeping this R in a different color. Okay. So yeah. So first I'm just fixing this kind of things. R, okay. So R. Here also R, right? So now any doubts about R? So therefore, my key variable flipped classroom, but the key variable flipped classroom, some other alternative there. Therefore, I'm just keeping the R. So after keeping all the R, I'm going to go with the and. Under the and, we have the academic performance. What are the other alternative of academic performance? Student performance. Sometimes academic performance, they used to call student or students performance, okay? And learning outcomes. These are the some other alternative they might use it, right? So what kind of term we can use it? Yes, once again, we can use R. We can use it R here, right? We can use R, right? Yes. Now here I'm using R, here I'm using N. So academic performance and higher education we can use it. But instead of higher education, some article they use called university. Sometimes they use the college also. Therefore, which gate we can use it? We can use here once again R, right? Once again we can use R, right? Similarly, I don't need this kind of word. One is primary school. Sometimes they use called high school also. So what the terms I can use it here? Once again R. So this is my Boolean operator, Boolean string. Are you able to find this? So this way I'm going to search it now. No, up to you only. So Kishan Patra, you can decide. Okay. So what are the alternative terms which you use it for the research sector that you can use it? There is no limitation. Everything depends on the researcher only. And this is a Boolean string. You are going to keep it in your article also. Therefore, no one questioning here why you are not using this one, why you are using this. Everything depends on the researcher, and you are copying and paste this kind of that entire Boolean string in your article also. So therefore, they easy to know that which you are using, which you are not using also. So very clearly we are mentioning this. Any doubts up to now? Any doubts up to now? And similarly, the other booleans also there. Kindly take the screenshot. We have not. So we already discussed about these three things only we are using regularly. And means the two key terms you want to search together, both the key terms available that you want to identify, you can go the AND. Suppose you have a alternative of one form to other form, that alternative you want to search, even you want to include that alternative also along with your search, you can use the R. Not means you cannot use this particular search, the particular research you cannot be used in your work, then use the not. And this and quotation very important. Suppose the quotation means you are keeping the find the extract phrases. I'm always giving this comments, give the suggestion, because when you give the quotation, even the same extract phrase only is going to search, right? So the same extract phrase only is going to search from the Boolean operator. Therefore, whenever you find any kind of key terms, kindly use this quotations, right? So the exact phrase what you are typing with the code, that going to check with that article. And the truncation, this is simple called truncation. What is the truncation? Suppose I have the term education, educator, education, like this. The first 5 terms are common. 6 terms are common, right? Later, I want to include education. I want to include educator. I want to use the education. I cannot type this much times RRR. Instead of that, when you put this educate and trunken symbol, it's taking all kind of 3 terms. All kind of the extension after the educate. Later, what other things comes is maybe included. And this is called wildcards. What is called wildcard? For example, sometimes some other people they're using called yes organization. Some people are using the Z. Okay. Sometimes when you keep in the folder, the quotation Z, you take only the Z based organization only. It's going to leave this yes. Therefore, when you keep this the question mark, this portion is taking any letter. It may be Z or S also taking the considerations. So these are the some of the Boolean. The next is here near. Okay. There is more than 2 keywords, actually more than 2 different variables we can search, or one variable, or yes, of course. Thank you. Thank you so much, Durga, to add this points. Okay. So now the other one, the proximity searching near. This is very good. Suppose I'm talking about artificial intelligence in education, but sometimes they use the word educations not immediately. Suppose AI powered education, they're using the artificial intelligence with respect to education. Like this, they're using some gap later, they're using the education. So that time what you can use it, artificial intelligence near 3 means after the artificial intelligence, wherever after the within the 3 words, the wherever education comes, this going to consider. Yeah. So yes, Sruthi, you are correct. I can understand there is no limits. It depends on the result. Of course, what is given is correct. And the nesting is very important. So a nesting, suppose you are going to do and or together, and or, and regularly you are using and or together, then you can use this kind of nesting the bracket. So these are the Boolean operator. So are you able to follow me? Can you take the screenshot? These are the Boolean operator. Okay. So near means, for example, I want to use this A in education, right? A in education. So what is my near 5? So when I go with search with artificial intelligence, so when I give the near /3, so this is called near by proximity. So wherever the artificial intelligence followed by within the 3 words education comes, is going to list out the search. Sometimes I'm using the artificial intelligence with respect to education. So it not comes immediately A in education. It comes later only. So therefore, even if you want to include the education after the artificial intelligence within the 3 words limit, then you can search like this. So these are the what is this? Sorry. Yeah. Oh, sorry. So these are the Boolean operators nesting. So I'm just going to directly search with the Scopus database. Are you ready now? Are you ready now? So I'm just going to use the same word, this one, the 5, right? So therefore, I'm going to please first this thing, this 4, right? Flipped classroom, inverted learning, flipped learning. I'm going to go one by one. The first key terms is flipped classroom. So I'm going to Scopus database. I'm going to with a quotation. What is the purpose of quotation? What is the purpose of quotation? What is the purpose with the quotations? The same exact phrase is going to search, right? The exact phrase. Thank you, Atul. So when I go with the flipped classroom, I'm going to search with the article title, abstract key. What is the meaning? So whether this key term, it is available, this document metadata, it may be in the article title or in the abstract or in the keyword. So when you go with the flipped classroom, I can see number of flipped classroom, how much. So I'm going to search the Google, what is the Scopus database? How many articles? 8,694 document related to the flipped classroom, right? It is only for one search of the flipped classroom. What is my next R? What is my next R? Inverted classroom, because there is an alternative term flipped. So I'm just going to here. I'm going to add search results, or going back once again. I'm just going back to add all, right? So there is an add search result, the second result. Just click the add, right? What is the symbol? What is here? The Boolean operator and. But what I need to add here, I want to go with R. Why? Because I need to go with the inverted classroom. Inverted classrooms. Inverted class. Previously nearly 8,000. Okay. Inverted classroom. Right. I'm going to search now. So now we can see. So previously only flipped classroom 8,000 something. But when you go with 8,700, now I'm getting the 8,921. Any doubts? 8 and 921. So with the two key terms, right? Flipped classroom as well as the inverted classroom, right? So I felt, okay, I don't need for, because I already 8,000 is there. So I don't need for this two. I just leave this. Okay, don't worry about this. And the red color mark, I'm not doing this. It's once again based on your things. Okay, I'm just skipping this one. Inverted learning and flipped learning is not needed. If you want to include, you can include. For me, it's not needed. I feel. Then what is the next search I'm going to do? Academic performance, and I'm going to use academic performance and learning outcome. These two I want to use it, right? So I'm just going back to my Scopus database. I'm going to add the search results. Now 8,009. So yes, kindly mute, please. Cyril, please kindly take care of this. Okay. Now I want to go with this academic performance. Academic performance. Okay. So can I use and or R? Can I use and or R? Anyone tell me? Which is better here? Which is better? Yes, and thank you, Vikash sir. So I'm just give this. So now we can see 8,921 document. When I add this flipped classroom, inverted classrooms, R, you can get the 8,000. But when I added this academic performance, is going to, whether it's going to reduce or increasing, any idea? It's going to reduce or increasing? Yes, of course, it's going to reduce. Yes, it's going to check. Now you can see the number of articles, 434 only. Previously, how many article I was here? I'm having nearly 8,900 with respect to the flipped classroom and inverted classroom. But I just continue with the both the key terms, inverted classroom, flipped classroom, along with this academic performance, wherever is there, I need to be searched. So it is only the 434. Okay. Yeah, same for all the search engines database, we can use the same mechanisms. I'm going to explain the other also, okay, because this is an well renowned database. I started this, and most of the time better when you write a research article, always rely on the Web of Science, and or in the case of Scopus, right? Even other is okay, but most of the article they accept in the case Scopus or the Web of Science database. Okay. There is no thumb rule, is once again based on the area of the work. For example, if you go into the recent work, the new area, you cannot get this more number of work, right? So it is based on the research. There is no thumb rule. So always you can go with the n number, more number of articles, always good sign. Okay. That's why you can go with the other search. So if you go with this, you can change the search streams, it can get more. Yes, now, yeah, we can club also, because sir, I'm just explaining how we can go with the clubbing also. Don't worry. Okay. Now I'm just going to add the another, because I need to add one more search. Okay. Learning outcomes and student performance, right? Can we add this? Okay. So when you want to add, I'm just going to add. So here I can use and or. Which one I have to use? Here, which one I have to use? I'm using R. Yes. Yes. So I'm just going with this academic performance. Here I'm going with the learning outcomes. All right. So now I'm going for research. So when you go to the learning search, I'm getting 1,000. Why it's increasing? Any idea? Why it's increasing? Why it's increasing? Because I add
or is used.
yeah, R is used. Okay, that's the reason it's increasing. Okay. Right now, I find this is fine, 1253. That's the reason I'm not using. It's up to you, student performance I'm using. Now I like to go with the higher education. Now you can tell me, when you use the higher education, it's an unstring, right? Unstring. And means I'm going to connect flipped classroom academic performance along with the higher education. So when you go with and, whether it's going to increase, sorry, I'm just going to here, okay. Yeah. Here I'm using higher education. It may be increasing or decreasing now. Anyone? It may be, it may be reduced because it's going
It
to
may reduce.
identify terms where is available. Yes. So I'm just going to search now. Yes. So board mass types rules, yeah, of course, this nesting is automatic comes here. Don't worry. Here, the automatically that board mass rules are applied here, right? So now when you go with the higher education, what is my art? Only 233. But I want to add some more university. So I'm just going to, even I can add both together. So I'm using R here. So I'm just adding university. Here I'm using R directly. So suppose you know type directly you can do instead of going to the n number of such you can type at a stage R college. So I'm just adding both together in a typing base, not in a every things. I'm going for search. Now it's going to increase or reducing? It's going to increase. Of course, it's going to increase. Okay. So now it's 552. So now it's over, right? Now it's over. But what is my another one? Another search what I found here. I want to remove the primary school. Sometimes there is a chance that primary school also may be part of this. I want to remove it. Okay. So what I'm going to do, can I click this add search result? Which one I need to use it? Which one I can use? Not. When you go with the not, I'm just keeping as a school only. Okay. When you keep the school, so I'm keeping the common school instead of a primary school and high school. I use the school. Okay. And now, whether it may be increasing or decreasing, this context, it is going to decrease. Fine. Yes. So now you can see this 488. So now I'm just finishing the 488 streams. Any doubts? So totally, I just to find it, how many articles? 488 document in the Scopus database. So this is a process. I done it, this is a Boolean string. So now the topic identification, that you can identify your topic and go for a Boolean string like this. It's for the explanation, just write this. And after this, we can go for these steps, right? Please kind know this. This is an description of the search, right? The description of the search. So number of refined article. So I'm just explaining how to descriptions we write. Even we can add into your research article also. Now total how many articles? So for me, how many article? 488. So up to now, this through this search, I can get 488. Okay, 488. So I just added here. Is there is any idea to getting a similar terms or synonyms of the key variable terms where the, of course, very simple. Just ask the chatbot, chat GPT. You can ask it directly to the I need to search the Scopus database with some Boolean operator for this particular area. Can you suggest the Boolean operator along with this key term is going to provide wonderful. Chinmay Karana, we have now a lot of AI tools are available. You just ask the AI is going to give you very clear things, right? Filtering from open source. Okay. Now, any doubts? Just I'm going to keep it for 488. The first step through the search string, I can find out 488. Any doubts? What is the next one? Time span. So I'm just going to give the time span now. As already mentioned, this at least the 20 years. So this is a filter. The further filter I'm going to do up to now 488. Please kindly look on to me. I'm just going to go with the step by steps. I'm going to go with the inclusion exclusion criteria. In this case, I'm just taking this one. In the case of year, if you go to the individual year, you can find out this. You can find all the individual years. So actually, the flipped classroom is an area. The first article published 2013 onwards only. Before that, there is no article. Therefore, the flipped classroom is an area. It is an the starting point of this article in the year 2013. Therefore, I want to check the entire flipped classrooms because the 2012 only these areas emerged. So I want to check the entire 2013 onwards. Okay. Yeah, can some strings be used in suggest by? Of course, you can use it. It's not a plagiarism because the Ranjana is give the idea. Don't copy and paste it. Take this idea and started to use your. I mean, you can use only the strings only. No, Don't copy and paste it. Okay. So even you can copy and paste, that's not an issue, but you are going to give this, even some of the any journal, no, they give some kind of AA policy that we can reveal which tools are using for this. So even most of the social science research journal, they accepting the AA policies. Under the AA policies, whenever you're using any AA tools, we need to reveal it. We not be hide. That is only the things they highlighting this, and expect this kind of strings identification, we can use it. So now I'm just taking this after the year. Suppose I want to go to 2014 onwards only. So therefore, number of article, how many? Anyone tell me? So totally we have 488 article. Suppose I want to take only 2014 onwards. Number of article might be how much?
487.
487, of course, 487. But I'm taking this the totally. So I'm taking the year 2013 to 2026. So I'm just limit, because suppose I'm going to go with the last 20 years, I take the 20 years. But in this case, I have the article from 2013 onwards only. Suppose I'm going to mathematics achievement or mathematics creativity, it may be more than 100 years old work. So I'm taking the last 20 years. But in this case, the new area, I'm taking this area. So therefore, can we use the current data also, sir? Of course, you can use it. Okay, no problem. But you need to write it in the article while writing this. So it's taking the date. I'm going to highlight which date you are taking also in the bibliograph. Sorry, in the case of what is this Prisma, we need to write the date also, which date you are taking. Therefore, the people and know this which date this database, this number of articles available in 2020 date. You can get the awareness also. So now I'm just going to limit, not exclude. I'm just going to clean. Okay. Therefore, the same number. So it's only 488, right? So I'm just going to tab. Once again, the time frame 2013 to 2026. I'm just writing here. Okay. This is my criteria. So what is my article here? 488. Suppose I'm taking from 2014 onwards. It taking 487. But I'm taking the whole. For demonstrations, I'm taking this to 488, right? Any doubts up to now? Now the subject area. So I'm just going to this subject area. So when I go to the subject area, we have all the subjects, social science, computer science, medicine, but I'm basically from education background. So which I want to take, because some of the things physical, chemical engineering and all, sometimes not directly connected with this. So I'm taking only the social science and psychology, because I'm taking my subjects area, right? Even the health profession, decision making, material, bioscience, density, economics, veterinary, neuroscience. Okay, I find this only these two. Is it okay? Once again, this is an inclusion criteria or exclusion criteria? I'm taking the inclusion, right? Exclusion means you can take the other one and you can go for exclude, but I want to take only these two, social science and psychology. So now previously 48. So when I limit to this subject, what is my article number? Kindly see this. The number of article 340. So 340. What is my subject area? So science and arts and humanity. It is there. And just so science and even up to you. There is no need for, suppose you want to keep all the subject area, you can keep it as it is. There is no need to be select. So I'm taking from social science and psychology. Okay. So in this criteria, I have only 340. Suppose you want to go with this other one, any other subject is there, right? Right. Now the next one, what is the next one? Document type. So in the case of document type, we have the article, conference paper review, but conference review, I'm not suggesting always go with the article base. Even suppose you have the number of things very less, you can go with this conference paper review and all. But I feel that 240 is fine for me. I take the article. Therefore, when I go with the article, whether inclusion or exclusion criteria, it's an inclusion or exclusion criteria. Because the inclusion means article is an inclusion. What is the exclusion criteria? Other than the article is an exclusion. So therefore, the inclusion, exclusion, both is interconnected, right? So I'm taking the article as an inclusion criteria means that what is the exclusion criteria? Other than the article is called exclusion criteria. And just keeping, therefore, number of article may be how many? Any idea? 340 up to now. When I go with this article, how much maybe comes? How much is already there? What is the number? 248. Just to check with this limit 2, you are getting 248. So yeah, now 248. So I'm just going to type this. A table is very important. Listen, this is a table you can add in your article writing, right? So what is my document type? What is my article? Only. This is a criteria, right? So the key term. So suppose you want to use the key terms. It is also once again if the key terms flipped class. A lot of key terms is there. It's not compulsory. It's up to you. Suppose I'm not taking any key terms. I'm taking all the key terms as it is. I'm not taking any inclusion criteria. Therefore, keep it as it is. Okay. Suppose you have more number of article, you can even the limit. For example, where we can limit the keywords, some of the common keywords you can limit. Okay. So you took the keywords in higher education which don't have the relations of this. Yeah, of course. No, they're using somewhere AA as well as higher education, right? That's the reason it comes there. Okay. So therefore, we need to very cautiously we can check with this. Okay. Of course, you can use the word teaching or learning. Any words you can just connect with this. Instead of higher education, you can go with the teaching and learning. These are the words also we need to use it. Correct. Of course, when you go with a search, it's very difficult. We need to very cautiously, we need to go for a search, right? And I'm going to this English as a language. I'm giving the importance only English. So as an inclusion. So what is the exclusion criteria other than the English called exclusions? So what may be number now? So previous is 248. Now when you go with only the English, it may be 232, right? So now the 232. So now 232. I'm just going to keep it here. I'm keeping as an English 232, right? Any doubts up to now? So please, this is a table also you need to add in your work. Okay. So now, and there is no need for, suppose there is no keyword, kindly remove this. It's not needed. It's just I'm adding this keyword also one way we can give the criteria. That's the reason I just added. Suppose you're not using any keyword inclusion, exclusion, kindly remove this, that column, I mean row. And the other one, manual refinement. Even after downloading, you want to crash check whether the abstract title somewhat is there, this key term is there, otherwise you can remove also. Sometimes author name may not be there. You can remove it. You have the full rights in this. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to explain how to download the data sets. Up to now, any doubts? So what's my total data? I have 232 articles related to this strings, right? Now, the very important things, in down, you are getting the option called export filter counts. This is for the that some basic Excel sheet you are going to find out from here. When you click this export filter counts, I mean, even this particular word, I mean, Excel file, you can do further analysis with the use of the Excel itself. Even this output is helping to for a Excel based calculation also. So I'm just going to open with Microsoft Excel. Now you can see this, that the basic output I can get it here. Yeah, that's why Sri Vaishni, kindly check. You maybe reduce your key terms or go with a very specific AND gate. Okay, you can use the AND gate clearly. Okay. Now this is an Excel report. It is basically the output of even this isn't things you can keep it. Even sometimes you may forget what is the way you are doing the inclusion exclusion criteria is going to give the clarity. So what is this one? The year 2026. Anyone tell me what is your 2026? The number 8, 2025, 51. The number of articles published. Okay. In 2025, 51, 2024, 35, 2023, 23. So even this, you want to draw a graphical form. Sometimes, no. In the case of Biblioshiny, it never give the proper graphical form. Even this graph, you can Excel graph also, we can keep it in your end. If you go to the insert, it's automatically suggesting the graph also. So there is a graph, you can select any graphical form. So suppose I'm taking this graph, even this graph, you can use it for writing the interpretations. This is for the year-wise academic, what is that? The production, the article productions with respect to the area flipped classroom. So even this graph, we can write the interpretations. Suppose I don't need this one, I can go to the next one. So this is for the author name. You can see this, that who is that prominent author. So the first person 3. So the 3 persons publishing 3 article, others are 2. And this is subject specific. Okay. So science. So we take it only 227. So this only we are taking this. The article 232 and final. And these are the source title. Source title is nothing but the journal names. These are the keywords used by the article. Okay. These are the affiliation. The affiliation means that authors, the university they belongs to, the country they belongs to, all the details are available. All right. Even this data set you can download for your end for the further analysis if you need with this. So this is one data set I downloaded, and the main metadata, how to download, I'm just going to explain. So after finishing all, this is for the only for the Excel calculation, we can use the expert filter counts only. But my intention to download the metadata. When you want to download the metadata, please kindly look onto there's an option called all. When you select all the 232 documents are selected. There is an export option. When you click the export, we are getting the options called CSV file, RIS file, and BibTeX file, and plain text. And even we can go the reference management base also, we can download it. Okay. But normally I'm recommending the CSV file. CSV file, even if you go with the further analysis, we can go with the CSV. The BibTeX file and all is only for the directly import in the RStudio, and we can do this. But if you want to do the further analysis manually also, my recommendation go to the CSV. Right. So when you go to the CSV, so when you go to the CSV, okay. So it's going to the another data, another pop-up window. You can cite all the metadata like citation informations, bibliographic informations in the affiliation, PubMed ID, publishers, abstract, funding, all the things you can select here. After that, click the export. When you click the export, it takes time to download. Okay. So, but this information was present in Scopus also when we have to do it in Bibliometric. I mean, here of course, it is there. Once again, suppose you are not saved in the Scopus database. It's a question from Sagar. The same thing you can find from the Scopus also. Suppose you are not saved as the search. Later, if you want to access it, better to download this expert filter result. No? So now it's downloaded. I'm showing this downloaded. This is an CSV file. So when I open a CSV file with Excel, so I'm just open with Excel. You are getting all the metadata. Yes. Are able to see this? There is an author full name, author ID, the Scopus ID, the title of the work, the year of publication, the source title. Therefore, how many columns might be there? Sir, how many rows? Anyone's telling me how many rows might be there? So all the metadata I found, how many rows might be? Any idea? So we have 232. 232. Yeah, one more extra because that one more extra. So 233. 32, right? I think the two, yeah, they may be taking this one. Okay. So some more extra column might be there. Take is correct on 232 only. This because this column it is there. Suppose you want to do manually because according to our the Microsoft, this one manual refinement, even we can just remove some of the items which is not directly connected with this based on title, based on the abstract. Even if you want to do this, some kind of removing, you can do this. Suppose I'm going back to the Excel. I'm just randomly checking with the title. So this is a title. Just check with the title. Sometimes you want to do the duplicate. I'm just highlighting the duplicate number of. There is a duplicate. The same articles. There is a chances in the scope of the published 2 times. Even that you want to remove. Duplicate you want to remove. So this was another options. I request all to check with this. There's an options available in our Excel itself. Just select the title. You can select the title. In the title, after this, go to the options called home. There is an option called condition formatting. When you go to condition formatting, there is an option called highlight cells rules and duplicate values. So I will share it 1 minute. I will share the Excel sheet first. Okay. So 1 minute. I share this Excel sheet in the same Excel sheet. Then you can work video and end also. No. So I'm sharing in my WhatsApp. Okay. The same Excel sheets. So I request all to just access this Excel sheet and started to do your end. You are getting some idea. Okay. So I just shared the same Excel sheet which I downloaded. Yes. Atul, I hope you are finding this. It takes time. Yes, I'm just going back to my Excel. The Excel, the demonstration is very important because sometimes there is a duplicate might be there that how we can remove it. Even when using directly the RStudio is going to remove, but how to do the manually to remove this. Yeah, so there is a table. So in this table, this is not a table. I'm going to this table, right? So this, what I'm going to do, please, I request all to mute. There is a title. Just select the title here. After this title, there is an options home. Condition formatting. When you give the condition formatting, there's called highlight cells rules. There is an option called duplicate values. So what is the advantage here? When you select the duplicate values, the title, the same title comes twice you are getting the colors. So when I click this, the color, okay. So now you can see there may be a color if you have the duplicate. I think there is no duplicate. There is no duplicate, but there is a problem. This 174, no? So sorry. Uh, yeah. So now you can see some of the article, even the name, see this is a number. It is not, the title is not available. Article number 174. So even this also remove it. Suppose I want to delete it, I can delete. So I can delete. This is called manual. This is called manual deleting and just deleting. Okay. And similarly, I'm going to check whether any other, because there is no duplicate. That's the reason I'm just keeping the other things. There is no duplicate in this case. I'm try checking manually the title. Any duplicate, there is no duplicate. Whether that all the titles are clearly mentioned or any titles are missing, I'm checking here. Similarly, I'm checking with the author name, whether all the article having the author. Okay. I'm checking the author's name. Everywhere author first name is there. Okay. Yes, yes, everything is there. Okay. Yes, fine. So now I'm just reducing. So once again, repeat the steps, please. Sri, why is many? So I'm just doing the small demo. Suppose one column and just one row and just copying this and just explain how to find the duplicate. Suppose the same duplicate, the title wise somewhere it is there, and just copy and paste. So automatically the colors comes. So why the color comes? Because what I done it now, so just to select the table, there is an option called condition formatting. Highlight the cell values, the duplicate values automatically give the color. When you give the color, the same article, if any in the list is there, is going to list out. That is the reason the two color is there. And you can delete one. Okay. Delete one. So now I can see this one. So I deleted one article. So altogether now is 200. So now 231. Okay. So manual, because of the title not clear. So I'm just reducing one. Therefore 231. The finally how many articles I'm going to analyze? 231. Any doubts up to now? So manual refinement, you can check whether any duplicate is there or whether all the metadata are clearly, it is there in the case of it's okay. So this is the way we need to do the, yeah. I'm just checking with manually the author name and the title and just grab it. Okay. Is the table used in Prisma? Yes, Suvin, I'm just going to come to the table. Okay. Any doubts up to now? Taban Kumar has already mentioned this. The first one, after downloading this, the CSV file, kindly crash any duplicate. And if the duplicate, you can check with this home button. Please, I request you, Venkatesh. Venkatesh, kindly mute. Venkatesh, kindly mute. Yeah, please. So when you click this, the title, we can have the options called insert. Home. In this home, there is an option called condition formatting. If you go with this option called highlight cells rule, there's a duplicate values. Wherever the duplicate articles is there, you will get the color. Okay. Right. So then after this, what we need to do, you can delete this and Tally can catch whether all the titles are available, the author names are available for all the article, keep the access. And finally, I can save this. So now I save this, the final data sets, right? Now I'm just going to convert into, please kind know this is an Prisma diagram. Any doubts? So this is a Prisma diagram. I'm going to do this now. Okay. This is a Prisma diagram. Instead of identification, the Prisma diagram, the identification depends on the topic, scope, and eligibility. I just keeping this instead of identification, the term topic, scope, eligibility. I already shared this Word file also. Sorry, PDF file. The topic, what is the topic? Anyone? What is the topic here? Flipped classroom. Flipped classroom on academic performance. Okay. So Ranjan, I am coming. Okay, so do please give some space. Okay, how to merge? I'm just explaining. Okay, flipped classroom and academic performance. So what is the database I'm using? What is the database I'm using? So I'm using only this Scopus only. So I'm just keeping this only the Scopus. Okay. Yes. So the search field I'm using the article, title, abstract, and keywords. The time frame 2013 to 2026. These are things we need to add. What is my string? So what is my string? If you go back to my Scopus, please kindly look at my Scopus. So when you go to this string, the Scopus, I'm getting my string. So where is the string? So I'm going to save this search result. When you go to save search, I'm just keeping this FC on, flipped classroom on, academic performance. I just save this and save. Okay. So when you save this, I can find all. Okay. Even if you want to go the further analysis result, click the analysis, you can find the analysis results also. There you can find the strings. So this is my string. You can just copy the string. You can paste the string. Where you can paste the string? It is for the all the string, including all the strings, but my strings up to what is this? Up to this one only, because the year also I just keep up to the year. You can keep this. Yes.
Up to school, sir.
Up to this one only. Yeah, school only.
School.
Yeah.
Up to school.
So I'm just copying this, right? Because other things are inclusion, exclusion criteria is not compulsory. I'm just keeping, go back to my Word document. I'm just keeping this string here. Okay. Sorry. So because I did 1 minute, I just remove this that grouping. So the grouping is disturbed. Okay. Yes. Okay. Yes, I'm just going to paste here. Okay. Even the paste, you can reduce that font size. So because you want to add clearly everything. Okay. Up to now, any doubts? So I just added a strings. Okay. Right. Okay. Can you show the string part again? Yeah. So the string is available in your Scopus database. When you go with the analytics, there you are finding the strings, because these are that inclusion exclusion. That's the reason I'm just skipping this up to the school and just copying and pasting. Right. And the next one, when you go with this, the data. So that's the reason even the Santosh asked the questions, right? So whether we can take this 2026, we can add the 2026 because we're going to add the date. What's the date here? So we need to add the date when you keeping, when you always to keep the bibliometric analysis. Data you extracted 28/05/2026, right? And number identify screen. What is the first number? What is my first number? So I'm just going with up to the year. Okay. So up to the year, what is my number? Sorry, it is already there. Up to the year, I have to 488. So I'm just keeping 488. 488. Or even you can go with this. Yeah, because we already given the time frame now. So I'm just going to 488. 488, right? So record removed. So how many records he removed? So 488. So just to go with this 488 minus 231. If you want, because this table we are already given, no? So just directly give this 488 minus 231. Anyone tell me the number? 257. 257. Okay, so I'm just going to write this 257, right? So yeah, so the removed 257, 257, and record included. What is the record included? Record included
231.
231. 31, right? 231. So this is called the Prisma diagram. It is recommended in the case of bibliometric analysis. So we don't go with the very complicated Prisma. This is very simple. Okay. There are 4 websites, but look different. Of course, Atul Mayuriya. So you can customize these things, because this is especially meant for the bibliometric. Bibliometric, because normally if you want to give the exclusion criteria, this Prisma, we need to add a lot of column. We don't have a space. That is the reason we added in a separate table for inclusion exclusion criteria. The separate table for the inclusion exclusion criteria. Otherwise, we can add this directly in the case of screening inclusion exclusion. Are you able to follow me? I'm showing this some of the article. Then you are getting this idea. Later, I'm just going to expand the other database, how to search. So I'm just going back to the I already shared this article. Just go back this one. Okay, yes. So when you go with this, the downloaded one, the bibliometric, the file. Yeah. So under this, there is a fourth, reference article. Just open the article of the first 4, you are getting some idea. So I'm just taking this article, bibliometric analysis, the first one, and taking the nearly 4 at a stretch. Okay. So you are getting some idea how they're writing it. Okay. So we have the freedom to write, okay, or the way you want to write. So media. So I'm just keeping this 4. So I'm just randomly open a 4 article related to this one, right? So I'm just showing the first one, bibliometric. It is a fintech innovations SME dynamics. So what they done it, now you can see the Prisma diagram. So they did the Prisma diagram like this. Are you able to find this? This is another way Prisma diagram. The scope investigation, because our diagram, we are keeping like this. What is that our diagram? So we are keeping the diagram, topic, scope, and eligibility instead of identifications. They're directly giving these terms here, scope of investigation. The bibliometric analysis of fintech and SME. This is the people they're doing these two key terms, fintech and SME, 2007 to 2023, right? And the database Scopus, what is that selection criteria? This is a selection criteria. The result in first search 758. The subject area based on the inclusion 688. Then article selection only 429. And after this, the language only English 417. And some of the final stage, they removed manually. Finally, how many article? 365. Even the Prisma diagram we can customize, okay? So, but this is basically that research framework is not a directly Prisma, that we are just explaining how we can do this, right? So we have a freedom to customize the table. And the final, this is the entire the steps of Bibliometric. The step number 4, RStudio Biblioshiny, and finally analysis interpretation. This is one idea they given. If you go to the another article, you can see the another article. This is a model only I am just proposing. So are you able to see this here? We are writing all the descriptions, such thing, what is the total article, time span, what is the number, subject area, and document type, keyword, and finally how many articles? 2,487. The entire thing they convert into this diagram. So the total article 20,578. The screening, the removed this much of article. The final refinement 2,785. The duplicate removed 298. For our case, there is no duplicate. And finally, they removed, go with this inclusion criteria, included 2,487. Are you able to follow me? So this article given this mode. So you can take any way, but you need to clearly mention what is the inclusion criteria, exclusion criteria, what is your Prisma diagram. If you go to the another article, this is the mode I am using this. So it's very clear. The topic, scope and coverage, key and search, and data of extracted, but always give the date, okay? Record identification, record removed, and record claims, okay? So these are the idea just proposing. And whenever you give this, what is that? The number, how we are removing, we need to give the clarity. Otherwise, the people, general people asking that, what is the inclusion, exclusion criteria, we need to reveal clearly. If you go to the another article, so this is another article, so how they, this is another framework. Are you able to see this? They make it like a study design. These are research question they added. Directly go with their database, the key term and search. So there is a first installation search, organization intention. These are the R gate, 2009%, and study area, they're taking the first filter. Second filter only article. The third filter is only English. The final, how many article? How many article totally? 195. Therefore, you can go with this, any mode of diagram, but you need to clearly mention how to do the filtering. That's only very much important. Up to now, any doubts? Up to now, any doubts? Right. So now I'm just going to focusing. I'm taking for nearly 25 minutes. With respect to how to go with, other than the, suppose you don't have Scopus database, right? Suppose, sir, how can you go with the search with other database? For this, I'm just proposing, there is another good database called dimension.ai. So dimensions.ai. Okay, so most of the people are doing analysis with this also. You can try with this dimension.ai. Up to now, any doubts? Are you able to follow me? I hope all are with me, right? All are with me, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So now this is dimensions. I'm just going to the login. I hope you already done in a registration. So you already done a register. This is a free account. I request all those who are not able to access the Scopus institution account, you can try for dimension. So you can first time you said go for register for free, but I'm having the account. I'm going to the Thiyagu MOOC. Next, okay. Can we do the explanation? Yes, of course, Praveen. If you want to go with only the review paper, you can go with this also, right? That is not an issue. So once again, every that exclusion inclusion criteria purely depends on the scope of your work. The scope of your work. So based on the work only you can decide. So which you want to take, which you cannot be take. So I'm just going to log in with the dimensions. Yeah. So it's moving here. And similarly, there is another alternative. I'm just going to give very fastly. So there is called PubMed also. PubMed, you can try with the PubMed. And the another one is called lens.org. So these are the other alternatives we can use this. Okay. So this is called dimension. This is an interface, and good thing that this interface directly OS viewer connector and all. Even we can do the direct the OS viewer diagram and all through this. And just explaining with the dimension. Hope how many people are already logged in now? Dimensions. Those are login the dimension. You can type LD in the chat box. So those are login LD. Okay. Those are already done this. You can just type LD. Okay. Now I'm just doing the same demonstration. This is an interface of the dimension. I'm just going to search with the same key terms very fastly. So this is search engines, right? But search with the full text and title and abstract DOI number. Can you say which is better one? If you want to search the key terms, whether with the full text, full data means the full article, or title and abstract or DOI, which is better? Which is better for the
title and abstract?
Sorry, title and abstract. Correct. The title and abstract. I'm just going to title and abstract. The same, I'm going to the flipped classroom. Flipped classroom. Flipped classroom. Then I just use the word R. Then inverted classroom. Inverted classroom, right? So I'm just going to search, right? I'm going to search all. Then what is the next gate? And okay. So what I'm going to use and academic performance. Then R. Here I'm using R. What is the next one? What is the next one? Academic performance. The other one is called
Learning
learning outcomes. Learning outcomes. Learning outcomes. So next, I'm going to go this next and higher education. Higher education. Then R. I'm going with this college. Right, I'm going to only two. And not, so in the not, what I'm going to use school. Okay. Any doubts? The same thing I'm just typing here. Any doubt? The same thing, because in the case of Scopus, we have the different option alternative, go with one by one. But here we need to type attested. I'm going for a search. When you go to search, so I can get the number of article with my search. How much only is available? How much only available? Only 30. Okay. Suppose I want to edit, so I can go with the edit also. Suppose I need to go with this and higher education is not needed. Okay, just go with this. I want to go with the little higher. So when you go with this learning outcomes, 690. Okay. Any doubts? Any doubts? Suppose I need to go with the not in higher education and just limit with in the case of the flipped classroom and academic performance only. So total number of articles for me, how many?
690.
690. This is for this string. So how to find the string? If you click this here, you can find the string, right? This is string, right? And the strings related to the title and abstract. Then what is the publication year? Go to the publication year and you can select, as already mentioned this, view more. We can find as you know that the flipped classroom in this, even the Scopus database is available from 2013 onwards only. But here dimension is available more than also. I'm just selecting. So the entire, or I'm taking only up to 2015 only. Last 10 years only I want to check, or 11 years. So when I go with selections and I'm going for add search. So this is another option also. So this you can see this, right? Okay. So we have the add search. When you go the add search is going to select. So search the results. Previous 690 something, now 631. Any doubts about the selections? Now I'm just going to the researcher. Suppose you want to go with the search with the researcher based on the author name, you can go with the author name. Or we skip this. Sorry, it's going to, yeah. Suppose I need to go with this publication type only. Go to the publication type. Under the publication type, I'm taking only the article. So number of articles 425. Therefore, what may be limit? So now the 631, when you go with search with only the article is maybe 425. So I'm taking the 425 only. So now is the 425. Now 425. Any doubts up to now? Any doubts up to now? Yes. So I'm just searching with article also. I find that is fine. This much is enough. Now I want to do the further analysis. I mean, directly with this same like Scopus also, but compared to Scopus is getting wonderful results. Go to the analytic review. We are getting some kind of further analysis. Even the worst viewers analysis also available. Co-citation analysis available in this. So you are getting very wonderful graphical form also. Sorry, okay. Now you can see this case, the first results, it is based on the subject wise. So education 251, curriculum pedagogy, education systems, the publication, the citations and citations mean. Suppose instead of a mean score is nothing but average. Instead of that, I want to get this, the median score, I can get the median score also. Median is the middle value of this. So we can easily change, so median. Suppose I want to get the bar chart, click the bar chart, we can get the bar chart also. These are research categories. So we can get a wonderful bar chart. And suppose I need to go with the overview. So overview means that the research protections, the year-wise, the graph, okay, the year-wise graph. The same things available in the case of Scopus also. And the same kind of things you can find from the another tool, what is that, even Biblioshiny also. The source we can give from the name of dimensions. Yeah, the source that instead of database, the database you can keep the dimensions database. You got it? So the source database is a dimension. Correct with me. Okay. And that another very good thing is that researcher here, when you go to the researcher, we have the aggregate is based on the author, the author productivity you can find out from here. So we can find all the author productivity. So number of article published by the each authors, we can find out from here. It takes time. And very good thing that, so these are the author. So he is a person, Louis published 10 article. Daniel, he is in University, also Germany, 7 article. These are the citations. These are the means of the citations. And even this output also we can use it for the further writing the review, result and all. There's a network diagram. This is directly connect with the host viewer. We are getting the host viewer diagram, co-authorship analysis diagram. Even there's a diagram, we can use it for writing the interpretations. Very colorful diagram. The same diagram, you can try to use the host viewer. I'm going to discuss the third day how to use the host viewer software. And similarly, the similar diagram we can find it from what is the Biblioshiny also. If you want to save this, you can save this, right? All the options are available. Are you able to find this? Where I'm keeping this, you are finding the author name down. So wherever I'm keeping this, these are the notes, these are the network diagram, basically. We can get this kind of network diagram also. Any doubts up to now? This is for the source title. This for the source means journal-wise analysis. The previous one, author-wise analysis, this is called source-wise analysis. So under this, the research society is 26 article, GMS journal is 14 article. So like this, we are getting all. And now my thing is that, so how to know the article dimensions, area, Scopus data. So very simple, sir. After this, when you go with a duplicate, automatically the duplicate can remove it. So you can know the number of articles already available in Scopus database, right? Even if you go with the search of the Scopus database, you can find out this. Now, the another thing, just to see, I'm just going to explain how to export this same CSV file. For exporting CSV file, there is an option called export. Are you able to see this export? When you click the export, still now we have the total number of article 425. I'm going to export this. When you click the export, we have the option called export result, and just click the export results. And when you go to the export result, my suggestion always go to the second one, export bibliography mapping, especially for the worst viewer and other software, we can go with this, the CSV file, and click this export. When you click this export, is going to download. Within a few minutes is going to download. This is called export center. So you can find the export center. Normally the export center, if you're not finding this, just go to your profile, okay, your account. The account, you are getting this export center. The export center, what are the downloads happen, you're going to find out from here. What are the exports? Yeah, now you can see this. This is an export, the flipped classrooms that, yeah, 28 now, and just download. I'm just downloading. Yes, it's downloaded now. So now I just open this. I'm just opening the dimensions one. Okay, so this is a zip file. When you open this only, you are finding this then CSV file. Under the CSV file, I think this might be okay. Yeah, yes, this is a CSV file. I just open the CSV file. Now I'm using this two the two databases. So now you can see the PubMed ID. So all the ID you're finding this. Even if you want to know whether any duplicate is available here, so you can see this. There's a 430 article is available. How to check this duplicate? Anyone? How to check the duplicate of the article? So just go to the title of the work. Okay. There's a title. Just select the title. Where you can go the duplicate? Yes. Yes, fine. So before this, yeah. So you just select this options condition for form. Highlight the cells rules and duplicate values. So when you go the color, you are getting the okay. Now you can see that online some of the articles in color. Why it's a color happen? Anyone? So some articles are color. Why? Because some repetition happens. So what I'm going to
filter.
So what I'm going to do, so I'm just going to the filter options. There is an option called Control A. Easy to identify which two articles are connected. So I'm just using this one. So when you go with the Control A, okay. So when you go with the Control A, there is an option called filtering. Under the filtering, identify. So that is Gauri, that is for the, you can go with the systematic literature, whether it's a survey method, a experiment method, or a mixed method, we can go with the systematic literature review. For this, we have the use called Raven software is helping. Otherwise, you can do manually. So that kind of work, we can go with the systematic literature. That's called SLR. That's not a bibliometric, right? So under this case, I'm just going to click this. When you go to the filtering, you're getting the small arrow mark. When you click the arrow mark, I'm just finding only the color one. So go to the cell color, please. Can you look on me? When you give the cell color, the rose color, when you click the rose color, I can find only the rose color, right? The 4 articles are duplicate. Therefore, number of articles duplicate only 2. So for example, the online inverted classroom, this and the article number 195, the similar one, I'm just deleting any one, delete rows. And similarly, the analysis, this also 2 times, I'm just deleting 1. Hope you're able to find this how to delete the duplicate. Any doubts? Then later just select all. Okay, you can select all. And one more things here. Here the problem with other language also. So I'm just going to delete some other language because some of the other language also available here. Other than because there is no string English, so I'm just deleting the other language. So wherever you find this kind of the other unwanted symbol, it's like other language. You can delete the other languages. Okay. Or even can go with this alphabetical order, you can get some idea, which is an right and short by yeah, okay. So I can find where is that extra, the new yeah. Now you can see these are the some of the other language articles. I can delete other language articles like this, okay. So this were manual, this is called manual deletions. This way we can delete the manually. So I'm just deleting this columns, okay. And similarly some other also there, I'm just deleting one by one. So this is called manual deletions. I'm checking wherever the other languages are involved, we can delete it. Okay. Are you able to follow me? So I'm just save this. For example, I just save this. Right. So now we have the total is 400 and something. Okay. So I have the 2 database, right? Similarly, if you want to go to the other database, what is the database? Lens. So the same thing, I'm just going to explain how to do this very fastly. You can use anything, any database as you like. So sorry, I'm just going to log in. Once again, Sri Vashni, there is no thumb rule that the number of article, it is based on scope of your work, based on the area of the research, based on the area of the research. Suppose the area is very new, then you cannot find more, right? If the area is more, you can go with this even 1,000 more, that's not an issue, okay? So once again, it is purely depends on the scope, scope of your work, okay? That you can 50 is not very good. You cannot get the proper visualization. If you go with the 50 and all, you cannot get the proper visualization. So please kind know that. So it seems that automatically the research strength is very poor. You can do the that's called research gap. You can start to do the research in this area. Even this one other way is going to identify the research gap also. If you go with the very less, the problem that visual representation you not get the good way, right? The visual representation will not be looking good. So the same thing. If you go with the search, there is an option called search scholarly work. There is called structure search. Go to structure search. There we can find all the options here. So what is it here? And or get. Are you able to find this and or? The same way we can go for a search. I'm just going to only one search. Okay. So there is one called flipped classroom. Flipped classroom. Flipped classroom. Okay. So then next is I'm going to add R. Okay. So in this IR, I'm just going to add this one, okay? Inverted classroom, inverted classroom, inverted classroom. You must be familiar with all kind of search, okay? Then I'm going to add a new field, okay? So add a new field. There I can just add this. Once again, you can take this one, okay? So add abstract and title. Take this which you want, okay? And flip to classroom. So the predicate are okay. So the next one I just adding here, right? So here I'm just adding this one, okay? And gate, okay? Retrieve here and so here I'm just adding this one, academic performance. So here also I'm just adding this one, it's an R, okay? There I'm just adding this learning outcomes, okay? Learning outcomes. And I'm just going for a search, okay? So now I'm getting these results, okay? So even we can go with a proper search and you limit this because very fast I done it. You can go with the proper because everything check R, we need to go with the and. So I'm taking this inverted classroom. I think it's taking R inverted classroom academic performance. Yes, I'm keeping hand here, okay? Even you can go for the option called edit, okay? There is an edit search. When you go to the edit search, we can add this, which one you can add, we can edit everything, we can do this. There is an ungate, rgate, the code editor and full screen mode and close view. And finally, if you want to download, here the download very simple. If you have the options like export, when you click the export, it automatically asks me the number of article to download, just to select the numbers and download it. So this way we can download from the lens.org. So like this, the PubMed also the similar way, there's a search is available. After login, you can find out this. But here you can go to the advanced version. In the advanced version, we can get all and are not. So everything's the same. The search is same only. Up to now, any doubts? Up to now, any doubts? The last 10 minutes, I'm just going to highlight how to open this through the Biblioshiny software, right? So up to now, we're discussing this aspects and just explaining which are things we discuss now. Yes, okay. So we are discussing up to now, yes, how to use the Scopus lens and I'm focusing on the Prisma flowchart also and duplicate remover to the Excel also and title and abstract remover also I just explained and Prisma manual and Biblioshiny also I'm just going to highlight this. Yeah, and come to the Regina, how to merge and just come to the case. So for the merging, what I'm going to do, go to the Biblioshiny software. In the Biblioshiny itself, there is an option called merging. So very simple. Previously, we need to do the Excel merging, but now in the case of Biblioshiny software, that kind of options are available. And just go to the RStudio. I request all to go to the RStudio now. Open your RStudio. So open your RStudio. Ranjana and come to this case. Okay. So when you go to the RStudio, I request all to open your RStudio. In the RStudio, I have because I'm not sharing some document to you. So one thing, I already share one document because the recent download I'm not shared to you. So instead of that, I'm already share one documents in folder. If you go to the folder, there is one folder. The name is called meta data set. Under this, I shared one. One is called Blended Learning Scopus. Other one is called Blended Learning Lens. I'm just going to what is that? Import both. So I'm going to what is that? It's called merging the both. Are you ready now? So if you have this file, just open this Blended Learning Scopus database. So I'm just explaining the number of Scopus database article. So I'm just showing this open with Excel. In the case of Scopus, the number of article is so number of article with respect to blended learning is nearly okay. So it's more okay. It's nearly 1,280 through the Scopus. In the case of Lens, I download only very less only for the demonstration purpose. 1280. So I'm just showing this Excel for the CSV file. In the case of Lens, it's only 43. So can I merge the both? And I'm going to explain how to do for the duplicate also. So now I just take the 43 and 1280. So altogether, how many article? 1280 plus 43, right? So this and sometimes there will be duplications in the case of this Lens to Scopus also. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to the Biblioshiny. RStudio. You have to type here Biblio. When you type Biblio itself, Bibliometric may comes first. Just type Bibliometric, and after this Biblioshiny. Just type Biblioshiny. So when you give the Biblioshiny and enter. So when you give the Biblioshiny, there's a 2 bracket may becomes. Go with the enter. Basically, the Biblioshiny, it is an web-based tool. I'm going to give the tomorrow some more orientation about Biblioshiny, the basic introduction of Biblioshiny, and after move the demonstration now instead of giving this overview. It is a web-based. Automatically for working, we need a internet. Okay, how many people are getting this interface? The Biblioshiny interface. Please kindly do along with me. Then when you can able to follow me now. So now I'm just opening Biblioshiny through the RStudio. Those who are open, just type O in the chat box. Just type O in the chat box. Okay. Sorry, I'm taking more time because of the because normally it's 1.5 hours only, so it takes more than 2 hours. Okay. Yes. So you done it now. Now what I'm going to do? Go to the data. So when you go to the data, we have the option called import load. When you give the import and load, so the first one is called import a raw file. Are you able to follow me? Hope you are with me. Go to the so when you go with import, which step Ranjana you want to do? You already opened this bibliometric. These steps you find it, no? You reach this level. You reach this level. The Biblioshiny is open. Yeah. So what do? You can go to your RStudio. So when the RStudio is open, I hope you already done this. In the RStudio, there is a error mark. Just to type Bibliometric. When you type Biblio itself, there is a Bibliometric. Just give the enter. After this, there is a 2 colons default comes. There you can type once again Biblio. Automatically the Biblioshiny may become. Just to select the Biblioshiny and enter. When you go with the enter of these two, when you give this enter, you are opening this Biblioshiny. Hope you already done it yesterday, right? So this, I mean, last 2 days before it's like shared. Yes, okay. Are you able to follow me, Ranjana and other people? You have to type only the Bibliometric, then 2 colon and Biblioshiny, then bracket, okay. After this, what do you need to do? Go to the data. So our intention, we are going to import the first data. Error initial, Yuvraj failed to create a server. Check with this sometime. You maybe type wrongly, or you can try later. Don't worry, you can try later. Okay, you can resolve it because tomorrow only I'm going to explain the full things just to demonstrate how to upload the data sets only. So when you go the import and load, we are getting the option called import raw file. Import raw file. There is a database. Which database? First one, Scopus. These are the database you can possible to add it. Scopus, Dimension, OpenAlex, and Lens.org, PubMed, and Cochrane Library. These are the databases metadata we can upload. I'm going to Scopus. Under the Scopus, surname and initial, browse. Under the browse, you can go with this browse. I'm going with the blended learning Scopus. Please take this blended learning Scopus 1280, the articles. So I'm just taking this open. When take open, it takes time to be upload the browse. That followed by what you need to do, just click the start button. When you click the start button, it's going to convert the bibliometric format. There you are getting some kind of table, whether this is excellent, the data metadata is excellent or not excellent, is going to give this insight. Okay. Now this is an data. So abstract is excellent because there is no missing count. Document also excellent. Out of 1280 documents, I mean the metadata, these are things not there. The journal, language, publication here, these are things are excellent. And author one is missing. The affiliation 2 is missing. So anyway, it is good only. So we can go up to the good. So we cannot go with the corresponding other keyword plus what is that analysis. We can go with up to the DOI keyword analysis only. So this is the way we give this kind of input. So altogether 1265 document of Scopus are available. So now what I'm going to do, I'm just to save this. Please kindly know this. I'm going to explain how to merge it. For this, we need to save first. So I'm just to close this. After saving this, we need to save the file as a R data format. If you want to merge the 2 files, we can do this format. Okay, when you go to the R data format, just export. So when you go to the export, is going to download now. The bibliometric for export now recently is downloaded. And similarly, I'm going to add the other file. What is the other file? What is the file? Scopus. What is the database? Lens. I'm taking the Lens org. The same browse. I'm going to the another Lens export is only 42 article. Click open. Now I'm just going to start. You are getting this number of article. So number of article, how many only? This one lens only 42. This also author, everything's fine except the affiliations and corresponding author. So now it's okay. Now this also we need to save, right? Our data set and just go with the export. So I just download the two, right? One is this one, other one is this one, 2 KBs differ. Now I'm going to merge. Up to now, any doubts? I'm just to download both export. I'm checking with this both the databases and I'm just to download as an R data format. Later, there is an option called merge. Are you able to see the merge collections? When you click the merge collections, we are getting these options. And we have the option called browse. At a time, you can suppose you have the 3 databases, even the Web of Science, Scopus, you can do the same process of 3 download in a 3 file in a R base, then browse. I can select the both together. I'm going to download. The download might be there. Okay. The download, I recently downloaded this one. Okay. So Bibliometric. So the timing, you can see this. Yeah. So this two I downloaded now. So 5.2 MB and 91 MB. The timing, you can see this. I just added these two. You can open together and click open. So now what's going to happen is going to merge together. So 2 files is uploaded and click start. Now we are going to check with this number of articles. What is the number of article? What is the number of article? 1280 plus 42. Right? But it's showing this only original data is 1390. One is removed. Why the removed? Any idea? One is duplicated. So therefore, even you don't be deleting the things manually. Now we have the options in the case of our software itself, RStudio itself. Then this you need to save because this is our old final data set. Previously, we had 2 different data sets. One is for the Scopus, other one is called Lens. And just merging the both, I can download both in a single data set. Any doubts up to now? Up to now, any doubt? I have a single data set. All right. So this way we can do this. Tomorrow, I request all, at least you can try for to merge, how to merge the both, right? So kindly import and go with us which database you want to import. After this, convert into 2 different R format. Then you can go for a merge. In the merge, you can go with, even if you have 3 databases, 4 databases, you can merge it in a single time. Previously, we can do manually, but now we have a tool, very simple tools available. With this, we can do wonder. And tomorrow onwards, because today is a theoretical side, I'm just giving more input because to understand the theory. Tomorrow, directly we can do the demonstration. So I request all to kindly check whether your Biblioshiny software is working. Okay, kindly ensure tomorrow. If you had any doubts, I request our group also, some of the volunteers, those who want to give the volunteer service, kindly type in the our WhatsApp group. And these people are helping you to how to resolve your Biblioshiny software issues and all. Right? Once again, we can learn together. Whenever you start to teach only, you can learn more. So therefore, instead of learning, better to teach. When you started teach, you are getting more clarity. So listen, madam, there is a question. If you have any questions, you can ask one by one, and I'll just give you some of the questions which you raised by you here. So there is a question from yeah, fine, is over. Okay, so I'm able to complete. Okay, any other questions? Any other questions? Can the Google Scholar can be no. Google Scholar, we cannot find the number of citation and we cannot download all the metadata, right? I'm not recommend you cannot go with the Google Scholar because all the metadata is not